So when you divide everything by 2, you have y equals 2x minus 3. So now this is in slope-intercept form. So your slope is 2 over 1. Your y-intercept is negative 3. Go ahead and graph it. So you're going to start off by putting a point at negative 3. And then from that point, you're going to go up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1. And then we are going to connect our line. And that's it. Any questions about how we graph that line? Okay, take out your reveal book. These are the properties that we use to solve equations. So we have the addition property, we have the subtraction property, multiplication and division property. So what that says is if you add the same number to both sides, that the equation is still equal. Whatever you do on the left, you have to do on the right. The subtraction property of equality, if you subtract the same number, it's still equal. If you multiply each side by the same number, it's still equal. And if you divide both sides by the same number, it's still equal. So when we're solving an equation, which is what we're going to do today, we're going to do examples 1, 2, and 3, where we have to solve an equation that's already written. Then we're going to look at a word problem where we have to write our own equation. And then we're going to solve an equation for a variable. So now I like reveal, don't get me wrong, but I do not want you all to fill in the blank. So what I want you to do on page 73 is just write this problem again off to the side. So you have a little space where you can write this. So instead of filling in the blank, I just want you to write this out. And there should be some lines off to the side where it says just like a little, some lines off to the, in the right side. So go ahead and write that, and we're going to solve equations. We're going to solve it out. Yes, sure. All right, so we have parentheses, so we're going to start by distributing. So we're going to multiply what's inside of the parentheses by what number is on the outside, and that would be a 1/3. So we're going to multiply both of these by 1/3. So we're going to take 1/3 times 2. 1/3 times 2 is 2/3 x. Carry down your subtraction sign. And now take 1/3 times 57. So 57 times 1/3, go ahead and type that in your calculator. So if you do, you should get 19. Who got 19? All right, now we're going to do the same thing with the second parentheses. It also has a 1/3. Multiply 1/3 times 6. So 1/3 times 6 is 2. And then you're going to take the 1/3 times negative x, which is negative 1/3 x. And that equals negative 4. All right, step number 2 is combine your like terms. So my like terms would be 2/3 x and negative 1/3 x. So if you take 2/3 minus 1/3, you get 1/3. And your calculator will subtract fractions. If you look at your calculator, there's a button that has N over D. Does everyone see that button? That means numerator, denominator. So that's your fraction button. If you struggle with fractions, you can use these calculators to do fractions. So if you put 2/3 minus 1/3, you should get 1/3. So 1/3 x. And now let's combine our numbers. -19 and +2. What do you get when you add those together? -17. That equals -4. All right. So what's the next step? How do you get rid of that -17? Add it. So that's the addition property. If you're adding to both sides, it's still equal. So that gives me 1/3 x equals -4 plus 17. And what's -4 plus 17? Positive or -13? Positive. All right. So in your last step, you have two options. You can divide both sides by 1/3. So you can do 13 divided by 1/3. But does anybody remember how you divide by a fraction? When you divide by a fraction, what are you really doing? Multiplying by the reciprocal. So this is the same thing. 13 divided by 1/3 is the same thing as 13 times 3/1. So go ahead, type that in your calculator. In example 2, we have a word problem. So now what we have to do is read the word problem, write an equation, and then solve it. So it says the diameter of Earth is 828 kilometers, less than twice the diameter of Mars. So if Earth has a diameter of 12,756 kilometers, what is the diameter of Mars? So the diameter of Earth is 828 less than twice the diameter of Mars. So M, we're going to let M represent the diameter of Mars. So now let's write our equation. So the diameter of Earth, what is the diameter of Earth? What did it say the diameter was? No, not 800. 12,756. So we have 12,756 equals, and it's 828 less than twice. So that means it's 2m minus 828. So go ahead, go to page 74. And off on the left-hand side, I want you to write this equation and solve it for m. So you have some line space off to the side. Go ahead and write this equation out. Solve this equation for m. So in order to solve this, what did you do first? What was your first step? So we're trying to solve for m. This is what I'm trying to solve for. And we're going to do the opposite. So what's the opposite of subtracting 828? Adding. So we're going to add 828 to both sides. Go ahead and type that in your calculators. And you should get 13,584. And that equals 2m. So now what do we have to do? Divide by 2. Go ahead and type that in your calculator. Take 13,584 divided by 2. and you get 6,792 equals m. So the diameter of Mars is 6,792 kilometers. Example 3. Sure. So example 3 says the formula for the perimeter of a parallelogram is perimeter equals 2a plus 2b, where a and b represent the measures of the bases. Solve the equation for b. So we have to solve this equation for b. So how would I do that? Any ideas how I would start this out? Subtract 2a. So let's do that. Let's subtract 2a from both sides. So you have perimeter minus 2a equals 2b. And now to solve for b, we got to get rid of that 2. So do I subtract the 2? Do I add it? Do I multiply it? Or do I divide it? Divide it. So we're going to divide every single term by 2. Everything gets divided by 2. So this just stays p over 2. But what's going to happen here with this fraction? What's going to happen with these 2's? They're going to cancel out, yeah. So you're just going to have an a. And that equals 1b or just b. And that would be your answer. Okay. Take out a sheet of paper, copy down your homework 8. We're about to get started on it right now. So all the homeworks are on Canvas.
I looked at it. When's due? When is it?
That would be homework 8. Did you get 1 through 7 turned in?
Yeah.
Then you're up to date, because now we're on 8. Yes. Somebody has some paper. Oh, you want to go get it? You trying to say? Oh, wait until somebody comes back. But in the meantime, somebody got paper for you. Nathan does. He looks like he's nice. Oh, and Sanaya's nice too. You got nice people around you. All right, let's go to page 79. Copy down number 1. Let's work it out. When you get your answer, raise your hand. I'll tell you if it's right.